SQL Server comes in many editions. First among those is SQL Server Enterprise, which runs on Windows 2000 Server, Advanced Server, and Data Center Server, as well as NT4O Service Pack 5 and NT4O Enterprise Service Pack 5. One of the things that you should note is beginning with SQL 2000, the Enterprise Edition does not require the Enterprise Edition of the operating system to run. That is, you can run SQL Server Enterprise on Windows 2000 Advanced Server. Another edition of SQL Server is the SQL Server Developer Edition. It's a low-price SQL Server intended to allow developers to invest their software efforts in SQL Server without a lot of expense. Of course, there's the 120-day Enterprise Evaluation Edition, which in addition runs on Windows 2000 Pro and NT4 Workstation. SQL Server Standard, SQL Server Personal is another edition intended for the desktop, which runs on Windows ME and Windows 98, in addition to the Windows 2000 and NT4. And new is SQL Server CE, which runs, of course, on Windows CE. Here's a chart that perhaps will help you firm this up in your mind. Now, down the left side is the version of SQL Server, and across the top is the operating system. The Enterprise Edition on SQL Server runs on Windows 2000 Data Center and Advanced Server and Windows 2000 Server, as well as NT4 Server Enterprise Edition and NT4 Standard. One of the things to note again is that SQL 7 Enterprise Edition required the Enterprise Edition of the operating system. SQL 2000 Enterprise Edition, you can take advantage of the features without having to invest in the Enterprise Edition of the operating system itself. When you go to the Developer Edition of SQL Server or the 120-day eval, in addition to running on all versions of Windows 2000 Server and NT4, we include Windows 2000 Pro and NT4 Workstation. SQL Server Standard adds to the list Windows ME and Windows 98, as well as the Personal and the Desktop Edition also run on Windows ME and Windows 98. SQL Server CE only runs on Windows CE. What we're talking about here, though, is the version of the server itself is restricted based on the operating system. The client software, which comes with each one of these versions of SQL Server, runs on all of the operating systems.